Hi, and welcome to a new video for Aperture Speaks. And this week what we're looking at is colorizing a black and white image in Lightroom. I've done this before, looking at it from the camera raw perspective, and it's a similar procedure, but it's in Lightroom. And it's a mixture of creating a black and white image and then using adjustment brushes to really add the color. So this is the image I'm starting with, and the first thing that you sort of really need to do is to convert it to black and white. So this is my black and white conversion of the image. It's quite a bright image. Really, we could actually probably just darken this a little bit just to give a bit more contrast. And you also need to I also need to create my curve adjustment here as well. So this is the image really that I started out with. I'm just making a few little extra adjustments here and there. And what I did was I actually created a series of adjustment brushes, which I'll now just turn on. And each individual brush is represented by these individual little pins here. And on each brush, if I just click into one of them, I didn't actually make any adjustments to the main set of options here. I did only change one thing, which is in the color. And you can select a color for this brush to be. So for example, in the bricks were very red, so I gave this sort of like this maybe more of a pastel-y orange. The reason why I went for a more pastel color, like a lighter version, or maybe a less saturated version, is because the stronger you have it, the more sort of intense it becomes. And in some places it still doesn't really work. So here we've got a little bit of missed a little bit here. So just paint that in quickly. And I'm just using my stylus just to add this in. Now I did think about actually having the mortar painted as well on the cement, but this is because I didn't do it because it was more like a yellowish tone, and I thought the contrast was better by not having it. One of the things that you do come across when you're colorizing an image like this is that the color only attaches to things which are in the gray spectrum. So anything which is more on the brighter white side won't actually take on the color. Okay, but it needs to be the tones which are slightly more gray. So you can see here the orange has just attached itself to this bit here. It's not white; it's a little bit grayer. So I can just remove that quickly with the erase option on just here. Brush sizes you can do it manually just by pulling the slider, or you can just use your bracket, your square brackets, just like in Photoshop. Okay, so I'll just show you what it looked like with the yellow and how you create a new adjustment brush. So you click New here, and you put the pin. I generally put the pin where the color is going to be started. So I click here. But on the color, you choose the color that you want. So I want to, it's a very pale yellow. So I go down, and here you have like two options. You have to remember in colors. One is the degree, so how far across it is. So from 0 all the way over, basically to 360. But when you get to here, you're back at 0 again. Okay, because the colors on this edge are exactly the same. Okay. The other one you have is the saturation, how much saturation the color has. So at 100%, this is the full saturated color, and at 0, it's the unsaturated version of the color. So you can just sort of really get then the right amount of saturation you want. Okay, and then you need to use the brush just to paint this in. And you can see here, I've just gone over this one little part, and you see where the color has only really been picked up here. Not so much in this white area. And that's one of the reasons I didn't really like it, because it didn't look full, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is to delete it. Just click delete, and it goes. So in here I use the green, okay, and you can see where I've painted it on. I've painted very roughly. I've done a little bit of erasing in the middle there. Same here. If you highlight over it, okay, I've gone over a little bit there. So we can just take the eraser, Okay. And go back to A. Let's see on this one. Click it. Go over. You can just see where that is. There. So once I've done all my adjustment brushes, I can just close this out. If I want to go back in, I can just click back in and do that. One of the other things I decided to do, which you can also do, is add a split toning. So I just turn this on. And the split toning can definitely give an extra bit of depth to the image. Because it will start coloring in the midtones and the highlights and the grays, and giving an overall sort of color tone altogether. I just noticed something here, which I'm just going to quickly correct. There we go. So if you take a look at before and after, this is quite bright, and now without the toning, it's just sort of warmed it up a bit and given it a little bit more color contrast in there as well. Obviously, the other things we can do is add a vignette to the image. Whoop. To remove the highlights. Okay. Okay, I've feathered this quite a lot. Let the highlight shine through. Okay, so just adding the vignette just to give it a sort of final presentation, and there you go. That's very simply how you can color an image in Photoshop and give it a sort of hand-colored effect. Obviously, it doesn't. You can't add any sort of textures just to age it. That you can now export it into Photoshop to do that if you wanted to. But just to sort of give an image an extra little bit of color, or to decide or to control the colors yourself, you can do that here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on my blog, which is aperture64.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter, which is @aperture64, and also on Facebook, which is facebook.com/aperture64. This time typing out 64, not just using the numbers. Until next week, goodbye.